Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer and I am a knitter who lives in Melbourne. This is me in my little knitting corner. I've just baby wearing my little newborn. She's having a nap now, so I thought I would film a podcast and see how long she lets me chat on about fibre arts for. As I said, this is another episode of my knitting podcast. I also do baking vlogs on this channel, and I started doing some hand-dyed yarn videos, just whatever is taking my fancy at the moment. I am aiming to do one video a week, and I'm really liking this schedule while I'm on maternity leave. In Australia, it's pretty common to be able to take a year off from work, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. And yeah, just concentrating on looking after my kids, making beautiful things, and seeing where my creativity leads me, really. I am really enjoying being able to do this, and I feel very blessed to be in this position. So I'm trying to make the most of it. And wherever you are in life, I hope that you also have some sort of hobby or craft that gives you solace. And this is the space where I just like to share the things that I've been making, and maybe it might inspire you to do something similar, or maybe you just want to have my voice on in the background to whatever activity you're getting up to today. But thank you so much for joining me. Thank you especially to my friends who I know watch this. And yeah, let's just get started. Let's get into it, and we can talk about more life stuff after if we have some time. So I'm going to start with what I'm working on right now, which is something new. And I'll show you what it is first. So this is going to be a little baby blanket, and I'm making it for a friend. It is called the Crochet Gold Puffs Baby Blanket by Daisy Farm Crafts, and I am making it with a 5mm crochet hook. I found that was the best sort of gauge for this. I tried a 5.25mm hook and I felt like it was a little bit too loose and not quite as neat as I was hoping for. So we switched to the 5mm hook, and I'm happy with that. The yarn I'm using is a yarn that I bought from Spotlight, which is a sort of a craft hobby store. It sells a lot of homewares as well in Australia. I think they have some sort of Christmas or Boxing Day sale on at the moment, so all the yarn was 40% off. So I picked up this yarn, which is the 2 of 1's Colour Theory yarn in 2 colours. The purple colour is Provence, I believe, and this green colour is Tourmaline, and it's very soft, squishy yarn. It crochets up really nicely. It's been really fun to be able to crochet it up. It just feels really nice on the hands. It's nice and stretchy, and I feel like it is something a baby would definitely enjoy. The only drawback I have about this yarn is that it is made of acrylic, and because of that I even got up to, I think I got up to just before the puffs, and I ripped all out. I pulled it out. I was like, no, I can't do this. Acrylic yarn is bad for the environment, but I sort of convinced myself to start again and keep going anyway, because it's going to be loved. It's going to be something that is being given away as a gift. So they're going to want to throw it in the wash. It's going to have, you know, baby and toddler vibes all over it, hopefully. And I don't want it to be like a hassle to be able to take care of it. I know that acrylic is bad for the environment and plastic yarns are bad. So I am going to try to avoid them in the future. This might be hopefully the last. I don't know, actually. It's a hard call, isn't it? Because you want to be kind to the environment, but you also want affordable yarn to keep your craft going and keep your inspiration going. Sometimes it's also hard to get the colours that you want, and these are really, really nice colours. and that's not always available in natural yarns at an affordable price. So yeah, I think something that I just have to think about and ponder and figure out what to do going forward with my craft. But for now, I'm going to finish this project and we will reassess before we think about making another baby blanket. But in the meantime, I really am enjoying this yarn as much as I possibly can. And this pattern is a nice mindless pattern. It only sort of has 2 different rows and they're very similar. And so it was nice to be able to cast on and just sort of go, not really have to think about it. I actually did start a different blanket. I think I was originally going to do a ripple blanket, also by Daisy Farm Crafts, which is a free pattern by the way. But it was too many increasing and decreasing, and it didn't feel intuitive at the very start, so I decided not to proceed with that and I went for this as well. I have actually started another baby blanket with a very similar pattern to this by Daisy Farm Crafts, which I haven't finished, but we'll finish this one because it's going to be a gift. It's a last minute Christmas gift, so I need it done in a couple of weeks, and my husband sort of challenged me to get a baby blanket done before we see our friends. So that's what I'm doing. And I think it'll be okay. I mean, I've already done this much and it is most, if not maybe at least half, if not more than this one ball of purple yarn. So I have 6 purple balls and 1 green ball, and I think that should be enough. And if I keep going at this pace, I should be able to finish. Crochet is a lot faster for me than knitting. So yeah, looking forward to continuing this project. Hopefully I will have a finished project picture for you in the next podcast that I film. But yeah, this is what I am concentrating on at the moment. I hope it will only take me a few days because I have a lot of other projects that I have on the needles that I want to be working on as well. So yeah, main focus at the moment is this baby blanket. Okay, so I just have like a basket here on the floor of the things I want to show you, and we will see how much I can get through before the baby wakes up. Okay, this is a pair of socks that are on hold at the moment, but I started it because I just wanted something simple. I guess I'm in that sort of mindset at the moment where I just want something really intuitive and relaxing to make. So this is going to be a pair of socks for my dad, I think, made out of some Regia yarn. I don't think I have the label with me at the moment, but it is a very nice blue with pops of orange and green. And I think I have heard before that some pattern yarns of Regia, the colour is actually printed on, but with this you can see that the colours, sort of 2 strands are plied together, which is interesting, and it gives it sort of a tweedy look, and comes up like this with the stripes. I wanted to do a ribbed sock just in case to make it more of a snug fit for my dad. I haven't made socks for him before, so I decided to go with a ribbed look. I started with a 2x2 cuff, so knit 2, purl 2 cuff, and then a knit 3, purl 1 for the leg, and I'll do the same for the foot all the way down. So yeah, I've only got this pair, and they're sort of on this sock started, and it's sort of on hold at the moment, but that's fine. I'll get back to it when I need to. Oh, it's okay, honey. The reason that I stopped working on this pair of socks is because I wanted to start knitting up my Christmas socks along with the hand-dyed yarn that I actually hand-dyed in a previous video on this channel. I hand-dyed just a little 20-gram skein of undyed yarn into a navy blue so I could use it for some contrast heel and cuff. So I have started those socks and I've actually finished one sock, so I can show you, and I can show you the yarn all knitted up as well. So I have put the yarn in a ball, and the colour's showing up quite nicely on the camera. So you see it's navy blue. It turned out with a bit of white speck to it, bit of bright blue, bit of that brown and reds that I put in are showing through as well. So really quite fun and quite nice in this little ball. So that's the yarn that I dyed, and I'll show you this ball of yarn with the knitting attached. That is the ball of yarn that I showed you, I think, in a previous podcast as well, that I bought from a hand yarn, my words, yarn dyer in Victoria, where I live. And I bought that from her, and it's a Christmas beetle colourway. Her company name is Passioned Flower. So that was what the inspiration was for the contrast. And this is the first sock that I knit. So here it is. That is just an end. You don't need to see that. There is the cuff all knitted up. And the rest of the sock, I also kept wanting to do rib socks. This sock is for me, so I did 56 stitches across the foot. I did a knit 2 purl 1 cuff and knit 3 purl 1 ribbing for the leg. Feels a little bit tight. I did sprain my ankle, so one of my feet have swollen up a little bit. So hopefully with a bit of washing, because this is superwash yarn, it'll stretch out. Anyway, should be okay. It does fit, sort of. But it's very fun to knit, and you can see the colours in there. They kind of remind me of like Christmas lights, because there are so many colours. And we're back. We just had to go for a little potty break. Okay, what was I saying? So yeah, this sock made for me, finished one, my Christmas cast on. As you could see before, I had quite a bit of yarn left, so I might do a pair of shorty socks with just like a green heel. I think that would be cute as a gift for someone. Yeah, and it will be nice to be able to use up some more of that yarn before I put it into a big granny square blanket, which is my plan for my leftover scraps of sock yarn this year. I think that's all there is to say about this. I'm knitting it on magic loop with 2.25mm needles. It is a 75, they're both 75% wool and 25% nylon as the composition of the sock yarn. You can see it's kind of got like a stripy, like the colour pooling is a little bit like swirly stripy, which is cool. But yeah, I'm so excited to dye some more colours of yarn to match with the sock yarn that I already have, which will be very fun to do. And so I have those 2 pairs of socks. I think that's it for all the socks that are on the go at the moment, which is good. I've been loving watching Vlogmases lately, all the knitting podcasters doing Vlogmases like Penrose Knits and the Crazy Sock Lady, of course. They're just my favourite to snuggle down and do some knitting with. It just feels like I'm knitting with a friend when I do that. So maybe I can be that friend to you, to whatever activity you're doing. But yeah, I have a few more things to show you. This is a finished object. and it is so cute. It is a little cardigan for my daughter. It's called the Teddy Sweater because I could show you this crumpled up picture. It's a free pattern on Ravelry again from Yarnspirations, designed by Jodi, Lewanda. It's called the Teddy Sweater because I'm guessing because of this hat that I didn't make. But I did the second size, and it's very squishy and very warm, and maybe still a little bit too big for this little one here. But I finally seamed it all together. I think I do need to figure out how to seam my pieces a little bit neater. But anyway, I used the Bendigo Woolen Mills Meadow yarn, baby meadow yarn, in the yellow and the pink colorways. And I seamed every single piece together, and I will not, I won't be doing it again. No. We prefer doing things in the round and in one piece. But that's okay. This is finished now, and it's so cute. I did double the amount. I think it said meant to be 8 rows for this contrast color. I did about 16 so that I could fold it over and she can grow into it. I think it also looks cute with a folded over cuff as well. I don't think I made any other changes. Oh yes, this tie, I think it said to cast on about 80 stitches, which seemed too many, so I cast on about 60 instead for each one, so it's not as long. You can see here it's all garter stitch, so it has that squishy texture. I don't love the look of it. I prefer just stockinette stitch for like a smoother texture, but it looks very comfy, kind of like a robe, so like a little baby robe. Who doesn't love that? Yeah, I'm quite happy with how it turned out, even though I had to do so much seaming and I don't think I did the neatest job, but I did it and it's finished and it's so cute. So yeah, we will take that as a win, won't we, little one? And she can grow into it and wear it when it gets cooler. I mean, it is kind of already cool. It's in the 20s this week. We had a very hot weekend, but we are back in cool weather for this summer, which is a strange one, but we'll survive. Okay, so the last thing I have to show you is my progress on the sweater for Ash. It is the single malt sweater by Maxim or Max the Knitter, and I am knitting it in size 3 for him in the color, I believe it's Shadow, in a yarn by Bendigo Woolen Mills again. This is their 10 ply. I've already used 2 200-gram balls of it, and I'm on to the last 200-gram ball. I finished the body. We had to bind it off 3 times because the first time it was too tight. I just did a traditional bind off, too tight. Then I did Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, and that was too loose, too messy. And then I finally settled on a stretchy bind off tutorial I followed from Very Pink Knits, which I've used before and I really like it. It's sort of like a knit 2 together sort of bind off, and it's the perfect amount of stretchiness without being too stretchy or messy, and it worked out really well. I do like Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, but I think it has to be worked on the wrong side, so it's more suitable for things like shawls, I think, because if you're working in the round, you're working on the right side. So if you bind off, then it'll have the wrong side or the right side showing. Although looking at this, it looks neater on the back of it, so maybe I don't know. But I've done it 3 times, so I'm not doing it again. But yeah, finished off the body. Started the first sleeve. I just have to get him to try it on to make sure that it fits, or it's the right length for him. But yeah, so close to finishing. It's been a bit of a slog. Really fun pattern, really nice pattern. I would recommend it as maybe a second sweater pattern, maybe not like complete beginner, but if you've already made a sweater, then go for it. It is really easy to follow. I have been keeping track of how many rows I'm doing for the sleeve, and I have heard that the shaping is very nice, so I'll see how Ash feels about that when he starts wearing it. It looks bigger than it looks when you wear it, something like that. But that's okay. I think it's because it's a thick yarn, so it'll be nice and cozy and comfy in the winter months, and hopefully it'll be ready by winter, because this has been a long time coming. But we're making progress, and we're not really like stuck or anything. We just need him to try it on and keep going, because it won't take long to finish the other sleeve, and then I can start on maybe a sweater for myself. That would be fun. And yeah, I think that's all I have to show you knitting wise. But I can talk about life. I have a lot of life to talk about, so if the knitting was all you wanted to watch, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sharing this knitting journey with me, and I will see you in the next knitting podcast or the next baking vlog or whatever. But if not, then stick around, because I will just chat about life. I am thinking about knitting a sweater for myself. I think I'll put the name of this sweater that I'm looking at here. It's like the everyday sweater or something. Everyday sweater, I think it is. It's like nice and like oversized and has like a ribbed look to it. I'm thinking of knitting that in the yellow yarn I use for the baby blanket, for this little one's baby blanket that I crocheted. I have a lot of that yellow yarn left. And it's in a fingering weight, and it's nice and oversized. I have started working out again, so I think my body shape will change in the next few months, or that's the plan anyway. I'm feeling more dedicated than ever. It only took me about 10 years and 2 babies, as I joke to myself, to develop some sort of a morning routine and morning habits, but I'm really enjoying it, and I feel more dedicated than ever. I know that I'm very lucky and blessed to be in this position where I have so much support with my new babies, and I'm just sort of figuring out a new pattern and routine for all of us that fits and takes care of myself, so that I can take care of others as well. So at the moment I am starting my day with morning pages. I write 3 pages longhand, just as it says to do so in this book called The Artist's Way, by Julia Cameron. Highly recommend if you're wanting to do some creative pursuits and you feel a little bit blocked. But yeah, I'm enjoying seeing sort of what comes out onto the page, let's say. And I've started working out regularly. I just finished 30 days of yoga with Adrienne, and now I'm doing some workouts with Sydney Cummings, and they're both really amazing women on YouTube, and I really appreciate what they've done to give us that free content. I feel like I don't have to buy a gym membership. I can just do these workouts at home and feel really good about myself afterwards. They give like the best pep talks. I think that's what I'm there for. Love the workouts, love the yoga routines, but those pep talks at the beginning and end are like what keep me going and what keep me coming back for more to those videos. So really grateful and thankful for that. And yeah, yeah, we've just been soaking in the festive spirit. I might do like a baking video, like a cookie baking video in the future. We started going to Christmas parties, and I think having kids now, I'm just like, I just want to decorate the house more, and I just want to be, you know, in that festive spirit more. I just got a tissue there, I'm sorry. I'll get rid of that for you. As soon as I sat down to start filming, I started sneezing because hay fever and, you know, Murphy's Law. But anyway, yeah, soaking in that festive spirit, putting up the decorations and just enjoying Christmas. Even though the weather is weird, I'm just sort of going with the flow. So on hot days we'll have cold tea, and on cold days we'll have warm tea and light candles to cozy up. But yeah, I'm really feeling like I'm like getting into a flow, getting into a routine, and sort of like establishing a rhythm, which has really taken me a long time to do. I'm the sort of person that will plan to do something and maybe do it for a few days and then give it up. But what I'm looking for is sustainability. I really want to start practices and routines which I will carry on for the next few years, if not the rest of my life. And I think that's what I'm trying to keep in mind. Even when I do my workouts, I'm thinking about, you know, doing these workouts like on a regular basis, nearly every day. So I don't want to push too hard because I want to leave some in the tank for the next day, and I want to leave some motivation to be able to keep coming back and doing more the day after that. And yeah, I think having this sort of momentum really helps, because every day you do it is another day you can practice it and solidifies that routine in your day, in your mind sort of, and then your body starts to crave it. And I'm really enjoying being in this sort of period of life, which is always like a hard one after having a baby, right? You kind of feel like you're rebuilding again, and I have found it easier this time to try to rebuild myself back up, develop these nice sort of rituals that I can turn to when I need to, and knowing what comes next and having a plan for each day is really helping me as well. And part of that is doing these videos once a week. So I've really enjoyed coming up with ideas and editing them and doing sort of something different every week, and starting new series that I hope will continue throughout the year. I have also noticed a trend, because I do watch a lot of YouTube as well as making these videos. I guess it's like, where does one end and one begin, really? But really I did begin by watching them, but I still do watch a lot. And I have noticed a trend where these knitting podcasts have moved towards being more like knitting vlogs, which I really enjoy, and I kind of want to start transitioning into in the future, because I feel like I've had experience sort of cutting and pasting other baking blogs, and the yarn dyeing video, and just like editing them, just editing experience in general. And I'm thinking about how I can evolve these knitting podcasts to be less of just a sit down, I guess the traditional format that most people have been doing, of finished objects, works in progress, and just talking through the details of those projects. I want to transition more into doing maybe like a week in the life of my knitting as well, or just having more clips in there of the process of knitting, because that's probably the best part, right? Being able to just sit down, nice cup of tea, and just cozy up and put some rows into a project. But then knitting is also great because it's something you can pick up and put down whenever. So if I'm in the car, I can knit. If I'm waiting in line, I can knit. If, I don't know, I'm just waiting for my child to do something, or I have some time in between, I can just put in a few stitches and it feels like you're making progress on something. It feels like you can fill your time with something that fulfills you and relaxes you, and it's just a good thing for the mind in general, right? But anyway, what I'm thinking is I want to incorporate some more of those clips and some more different scenes into my podcasts as well, because I'm seeing that people are moving away from this traditional sit down chat with me, which is really a nice format, but it's nice to also have some variety in the knitting podcasts and, you know, showcase more of how it fits into everyday life. And I guess YouTube is it's more of a visual sort of medium, and I don't know where I'm going. Yes, I do. I know where I'm going. I'm trying to say that I've never known why it's called a knitting podcast exactly, when in my head, like, all the YouTube videos are vlogs, and podcasts are all things you just listen to, and there isn't a visual thing attached to them. But I can kind of now understand that it must be because you're sitting down and talking, and you sort of need a visual medium to be able to show your projects. But for the most part, it's a conversation that you're having with the viewer, and something that could be just listened to in the background, really. So I guess it's more chatty than a normal vlog would be, because that involves having more scenes edited together, some background music, things like that. So yeah, I think maybe not in the next episode, but like further down the track, when we're able to do more things, you know, newborn life, kids, I want to be able to incorporate some more of that. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to chat about today. I'm going to continue working on this baby blanket because I have a deadline now. I'm looking forward to finishing that already, but I'm also loving the process, right? We've got to learn to love the process of things, and we also have to learn, which I'm trying to learn in my knitting process, that I need to finish the things that I start. And I'm not sure if it's like for the product, but I think it's more just for knowing that I can finish and knowing that I will finish things that I start, and not wasting resources, of course, that goes along with that. But I'm finding with all the things I'm doing, like the knitting projects and things like exercise routines and writing, I'm growing into the adult that I want to be. And for me, an adult, especially now as a parent, is someone who can be relied upon, who doesn't change their mind all the time, who has a steady routine every day and has goals that they're working towards. And that means that they're dedicated and they just keep plodding along on that journey, without having been prompted to. And that routine has the routine that I'm trying to build, the routines and the habits that I'm trying to build are building me up to be that picture of an adult that I want to be. And sometimes it sounds boring and a little bit mundane, but I'm also learning that mundane, boring process, it's that process that changes us, and it's in that process that we find continual change and rejuvenation and fuel for our bodies. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that this journey, I feel like when I'm doing a workout, I don't think about I need to lose this much weight, even though, like, at the end of the day, that might be a side effect. I'm trying to concentrate on the fact that every repetition I make, every lunge, every squat, every bicep curl, it's changing my cells to be different. Like, it's changing me on a cellular level to be a more vibrant, more energetic, stronger version of myself than I was before. And that possibly is even more magical than the big changes that will happen down the track. I want to focus on building those habits that change me and my cells, and like realigns my soul into the person that I want to be. And that is the thing that keeps me going. It's the thing that is helping me stay on track and helping me tick off those days. And even when I sprained my ankle, I still really wanted to do yoga. So I was more creative, and I found videos on YouTube for yoga for a hurt foot. And in the past, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just been like, well, I will just count this week or this day as a rest day, and it would just push me off the bandwagon, and I wouldn't need to feel the urge to exercise for weeks or months even. And my body is changing now, and I have new responsibilities now, and I mean, I just feel a lot older. And your body just doesn't heal or recover from things as fast as it used to. So I know now that I have to look after it, and I have to maintain it, and I have to be strong, not just for me, but for my daughters as well. And doing those rituals and routines will help me reach that goal. But I think I have said everything that I want to say now. How am I going to do these podcasts and make them more like scenic when all I want to do is chat about the things that are on my mind? I don't know. But anyway, that's me for now. I will sign off, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.